The NFL is a mess. Again, if you were from another planet and flew down yesterday and watched either that Falcons-Saints game, certainly the Giants-Patriots game, you would say this is the most popular sport in the United States of America?
Well, think of all these Europe games. Every time you go to Europe, it's a terrible game. They must be like, why do the people love this?
Well, I mean, if you are a Patriots fan and with no, obligation due to your job, there's no real obligation for you to sit through these games, and you've sat through every single one of these games, all of them for the entire affair, no matter when it's on, you are you and still found yourself groaning when the field goal was missed yesterday. You wanted that to go to overtime?
No.
God bless you.
No, I did not want that to go to overtime.
Well, no, because you have now accepted your faith as a Patriots fan that every loss is a blessing, especially that Giants loss is a huge loss. That you want that loss amazingly.
The most important loss of the season.
And yesterday. I understand because I have been in your situation many, many times. I've been in your situation almost entirely. In fact, I'm in your situation now. Is that your instinct is, and it's so ingrained in your brain that you want that field goal to be made. I get it. I understand. It's like habit. It's like a muscle.
Oh, that happened to me
that
yesterday.
has to be flexed. Yes.
Why the hell is Mac Jones still out there? Why is he still playing Mac Jones? You had that moment
Why
of
are
anger.
they screwing around on 4th and inches? Why?
Because you lose sight of the big picture because of the last 25 years.
Right, but or just because of you're rooting for the uniform, just because it's a part of you.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it completely. But today you got to be very satisfied with that loss. The only thing that's odd about it is that I can't stop from talking about the Patriots because I can't get over the fact that this is, again, a DiMaggio-type record. You in your lifetime will remember this season for the rest of your life, not because the Patriots will never be this bad again, not because the Patriots haven't been close to this bad before in your lifetime, if you're at all over the age of 35. But I will tell you this, is that you will never see a quarterback situation handled more poorly, both in the management of the team of having these two quarterbacks on your roster, but also you will never see a quarterback start and be benched this much ever again.
Genius, though.
Ever again.
I think that's genius by Bill Belichick, where he keeps running them out there and keeps benching them.
The excuses for this are I'm getting right to the Patriots now. The excuses for this are just insane. They asked him on another radio station, did you want Mac Jones? And he's like, it was a group decision. No. He's playing him. The Crafts are making him play him. First of all, that's ridiculous. The Crafts aren't making him do anything. If you think that Robert Kraft gets in that room and tells him who to play, now they might have gone, hey, we want you to take a quarterback. We like Mac Jones. I don't know why they would. I don't know since when they started scouting the college football and started telling him what to do. They gave carte blanche to a guy who sucked at drafting for 10 years. I don't know why all of a sudden they would step in and say, pick Mac Jones. But regardless, say they did. The idea that he's trotting Mac Jones out there to just go see, then why wouldn't there be anyone else to point to? All he's doing is destroying his chance, A, at that record, and B, of ever having control of a team again. He's never going to have a control of a team again. And again, local writers, why would anyone ever trade for him to be their head coach? Why would the Chargers want Bill Belichick any more than they want the idiot that they have now? Because 20 years ago he won? But he's not a head coach in the NFL right now. He's a terrible, terrible head coach. That team quit on him. You have Owenu who made excuses for bumping into Mac Jones. Give me a break. He was telling him to keep his head up. He was bumping into him, disgusted with the guy. You have Mac Jones yelling at Gesicki. You went to I get it, Mac. He went to run. It happens 55 times in a game. It happened to Josh Allen. It cost him the game. Maybe cost him a chance at the playoffs. Yesterday, there was a miscommunication. Yep. Do you watch, Mac? We watch the NFL. We're aware that receivers and quarterbacks have miscommunication. We understand that maybe he broke a route out he wasn't supposed to break out.
Josh Allen was a 60-yard pass. Max was a 4-yard.
But yeah, by the way, and you don't have to gesticulate all over the place. I understand it. I get it, Mac. Not everything is your fault, but you also threw a ball over Hunter Henry's head that I could have made that pass. Fred, you couldn't have made that pass. Yes, I could have. I absolutely could have.
Airmail a guy like that. That's
If you said, Fred, I'd be scared, and I don't know if I would. But do I have the physical ability at 48, at 6'2", 200, 200 pounds? If I have the physical ability to take a snap, take 2 steps back, and throw the ball 3 yards to my side, I do. And not throw it over the guy's head, I do. He's a disaster. And the team hates him. That Gesicki thing was, he couldn't eat. I knew that he was mad at Gesicki. He couldn't stop. They called it like a timeout after, so he could sit there and gesticulate more. And he's a big baby. There. Billy Zappi's a big baby who sucks just as bad as he does. And the idea, stop. They were I heard this nationally. Oh, you know why they gave him the extension? Is so because now he's a commodity that they can trade. To who? Well, Washington's got a big pockets owner. Why would I, under any circumstances, trade assets and pay Bill Belichick $25 million to come coach my team when he's coaching the worst team in the AFC, who just lost to the Giants in the rain, with Tommy DeVito being the best quarterback on the field? Enough. He was a great coach. He will go down in history as a great coach. He's a terrible NFL coach. Coach, not just GM. He's the worst GM you can't see a worse GM. He's the worst GM. But get out of here. Why would I give up? I could find anybody to come in and pay him $1,000 to come in and win 2 games.
The way that he coached that game yesterday.
Off.
The way that he coached that game yesterday, where they made no effort to try to win that game in regulation. None at all. Makes me wonder, is he now on board with the tank?
And coming back?
Well, that's what Shaughnessy said.
Here's the thing.
But
the only reason for them to tank, or for him to tank, would be if he's back here next year to use the draft pick and all that. And Ted Johnson and I were sitting here on Friday. I asked Ted, and we know how he feels about Bill. Like, what percentage chance do you think Bill Belichick? He put it at like 20, 30%.
That he'd be back. I heard that. I heard that. There's absolutely. This is another thing of just, he was considered such a good coach. He was considered the greatest of all time. This is people not being able to grasp that he just isn't anymore. That things change, things evolve. I mean, radio, TV. You don't think things that were at one point great bands.
With a better roster, you don't think he can still coach in the league? You don't think he's still one of the best coaches in the league if he has a workable roster? Now, listen, the fact that they don't have a workable roster is all his fault.
Yeah.
So I don't take that away.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think he's better than bringing in. I don't think that you're better off, especially at his age. You're better off bringing him in than you are some hotshot offensive coordinator, than you are Ben Johnson, even though the Lions' offense, Goff has looked pretty bad the last 2 weeks. But you're better off bringing Ben Johnson in. No, I don't. I think Harbaugh's a better coach. Reed's a better coach. I think that the Jaguars have a better coach. I think the Dolphins have a better coach. I think Tomlin's a better coach. I think that the Texans have a better coach. I mean, I think the Bengals have a better coach. I think the Titans have a better coach. I think these are all teams that have better coaches.
To answer your question about who would trade for Belichick, I think there are some billionaire owners that look at their rosters and say, with a better coach, we can be a real contender.
But why him? Why would I pay him? Why would I give up assets for him?
Because it's Bill Belichick.
Okay, but if
my choices are, I can go get a guy who's a great offensive coordinator who has no head coaching experience, and I can bring him in, and maybe he can do it, and maybe he can't, versus Bill Belichick, who's got a 20-year track record of doing it, and
a 3-year track record of being atrocious at it
with no quarterback.
Okay, but all right.
But if I'm the Chargers, if I'm the Cowboys, if I'm even Washington, I think I might have something.
You think the Cowboys would be better than 8-3 with Belichick as the coach?
I think Jerry Jones looks at it and goes, Mike McCarthy's a boob. I can give Bill Belichick this team, he's going to win. He's going to win the NFC with it.
But that's what he loves. He loves having idiots as coach. I mean, Jerry Jones.
Yeah, but he also is getting to the point where he needs another championship, and he's not getting it with Mike McCarthy.
All right,
if you were 5-6, that's one thing, but he's 8-3,
and they won't win a playoff game, John, and they won't get to where they want to be, and he's done.
And you think that teams would give up a future asset to bring him in? That they would actually give something up for the honor of paying a 72-year-old man who's won 2 games to coach that franchise?
Yes. I don't think you're not getting a Sean Payton deal for him, but you're going to something for him.
All right, and to have a guy a 72-year-old who can't win come in and slop around your franchise for 3 years.
Rebuild a roster, absolutely not. However, I think Ryan's right.
Underachieving team this year.
If you have a roster that's underachieving, if you get the right guy in there who doesn't have control.
They lost to a undrafted third-string quarterback for an atrocious team.
Because his roster, especially offensively, is that bad.
I don't think that their roster. The Giants were missing their the best interior lineman. They're on their third-string quarterback. They don't have a murderer's row of weapons. You got outclassed. Jack Jones got ran over by some jabroni. You telling me that Giants team? That Giants team is better. Oh, get out of here.
Take a look at the offensive line. You didn't have 3 starters, and on this team, that kills you because you have no depth.
So what? The Giants have who's on the Giants' offensive line that's so good? What's going on? Who do the Giants have that's good?
Nobody but Fred.
If you're such a good coach, you win that game. If you're such a good coach, you win the game. If you're such a good coach, you score more than 7 points.
If you're such a good,
you don't bench for.
They weren't playing to win.
By the way, also, I'm an owner. First of all, I'm a billionaire. And unless I'm Cal McNair or idiot Al Davis's kid or stupid Jim Irsay's kid, and I probably made my hay being relatively astute, as I am one of the richest people on the planet, owning an NFL team. You're going to tell me that I'm going to go, the lack of talent on the field. It's a first-round quarterback. You can't score. You can't score. I'd hire Bill Belichick to be defensive coordinator. I'd have him come in and work with my defense. I would not let him anywhere near a quarterback. I'm not letting him anywhere near Justin Herbert. No way. I'm not letting him buy Dak Prescott and have him come in and piss off. How do you think CeeDee Lamb comes in and goes, oh, great, Bill Belichick, 72-year-old with man boobs comes in and starts telling everyone how he's, back in my day, I was a champion. CeeDee Lamb walk out of that locker room 10 seconds. You're cutting players. You have J.C. Jackson on the field who can't stop trying. Get out of here. No. If a billionaire does it, it makes me question capitalism as a theory.
Bill Belichick's going to turn Fred into a communist.